I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
So what's up, y'all? Live in effect, the Man Listen Show. This is our second show together, right? Second show. How long have we been doing this show? 3 years? 4 years?
Yeah, I think right.
At least 3.
Yeah,
At least 3.
Yeah,
At least 3.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
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 Right.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was
It's like
pre-COVID, so gotta be 3.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
We came a long way, you know. Like I said, Lab had to struggle Mike.
I had the struggle camera.
Oh, the struggle camera. It looked like a 12-inch TV.
You gotta smack it to make it work.
like a 12-inch TV, you know.
Right.
But yeah, we live in effect. We in KC. You know, this is the crib for most of us. Gonna get some gates. You know, free advertising the gates. But y'all need to be giving us a
Absolutely.
go. But yeah, we'll get that up afterwards. Make sure you go to our bio, click the link. You can hit up all of our sponsors. You can get my book. You can get Arika's book. You can find out about my drink, Baby's Daiquiris. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start the show. You know. So Instagram at Man Listen Show, Facebook at Man Listen Show. Go to our YouTube, give us a thumbs up, hit that thumbs up button real hard. Something special to happen, and leave a comment. So yeah. So I feel like we talk about this dude way too much. And probably after this show, I hate to speak in absolutes because he might do something where we gotta talk about it. I don't want to talk about him no more. After this, ain't gonna talk what the Birdman say. I ain't gonna say it no more.
No
I ain't gonna say it no more. Kanye. See,
Why me first?
because if people go back and look at our past shows, you can go to www.manlistenshow.com, listen to our old episodes. You fought tooth and nail for this boy.
Several times.
Tooth and nail. And I've been told you he ain't right.
Several times.
I've been told you he ain't right. So,
Several times.
for those who don't know, I don't know how you not know because it's been all over the social media and everything.
All over.
Kanye, I guess he was doing a fashion show, or it was in Paris. He was doing a fashion show. It was somewhere in Europe.
Okay, I'm not sure where it was.
I think it's Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah, it's somewhere,
Okay.
somewhere in Paris.
Yeah.
And him and Candace Owens, her trash ass, they wore 2 shirts that said "White Lives Matter." Of course, that was a dig at Black Lives Matter, and yeah, most people was like, "Nah, you know what? This is too far." C, are you done with Kanye West?
So I don't necessarily know if I'm done with Kanye because I mean he really needs help. I think if we could get the old Kanye that I've been asking to come back several times, there's a good chance that I might defend him on something different in another situation. Now, as far as this situation, yeah, I have no words. Something is really going on with him. Like something is really wrong with him. No matter what the reason is, but he's changed the reason. Yeah, something's not right. Something's not right up there with him. Like something has changed or something has happened, but he's changed his reasoning for wearing the shirt 3 times. Now, I don't agree with all the 3 reasons. So that's what I'm saying. Like something's not right with him, and I almost feel like he's just trying to get like a rise out of everybody and attention. Like first he said he did it because he wanted to prove that Black Lives Matter was a scam. So everybody knows, like just for me personally, like I mean, Black Lives Matters as far as like, you know, what it stands for, I believe in as far as that organization. I was never with and supported from the get-go. You don't need to wear White Lives Matter shirt to say that. And then his other reason was saying he wore it because he's trying to prove in America only white lives matter because Kim and her family get control over what happens with his kids and say so and all that. And he feels like being a black man, I guess he doesn't have the same advantage as Kim and her family did. So that was the second reason. And the third reason he said he did it was just to try to irritate people. That's probably the only reason that I can probably agree with. But I mean, I have no excuse for him. I don't know what's wrong with him.
I think the only thing that was probably true was that he wanted to irritate people. I think he's just trolling everybody so that he can drum up some attention for his fashion, or he's probably gonna come out with some music or something like that. The first excuse that he gave didn't even really make sense, because when's the last time anybody's even talked about Black Lives Matter, the organization?
Right.
News clips come out about, like, you know, some of the people embezzling money or whatever, or supposedly, buying homes or whatever, and they're accusations, right? So we don't know if it's true or not, but what's the point of talking about that and calling them a scam when, you know, nobody was even talking about it? So don't use that as some sort of shield to cover up what you really want, and that's you know, attention from white daddy. That's really what he wants, right? Because remember when you go all the way back to when he was on Sway in the Morning, right? And he was talking about, these people won't let me do this, these people won't let me do that, these people won't let me do this, and Sway was like, well, Kanye, start your own thing. Right? He wants to be on the same level as Louis Vuitton and Gucci, and technically he achieved that with the Yeezy brand with the little ugly shoes that he came out with, right?
Yeah.
But this to me is obviously a road too far. I have been done with him. Like I said, I'm still like Kanye up to My Dark Twisted Fantasy or however that album. I'm rocking with that guy.
2010, that kind of.
Other than that, Watch the Throne that he came out with Child's Boy, Jay-Z. You know, you know what I'm saying?
2011,
I'll rock with him on that. But after that, man, I can't fool with Kanye, man, because there's really no excuse for, you know, this level of selling out.
Yeah.
More problems that he doubled down with Candace Owens. Like,
Yeah.
the disrespect was enough with the shirt, but then you went and found this heifer and put her in a shirt and trotted her out.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, why'd she do it though? She's dumber than him.
And then she came out and said something after that about how black people need to be worried about crime and all this other stuff. I was like, man, you don't want to get smacked in the
It's
street.
even worse than that, though. She came after Lizzo.
She was
Kanye into a little bit, I think that's.
He did too. He went on Fox News. He went on Tucker Carlson's show. That schmuck.
Put on his proper voice too.
Yes. Put on his proper voice, quote unquote, right? But then they was talking about Lizzo. They're talking about we put a white lies on Lizzo, and then what about the obesity with black women? Listen, if you want to talk about the disparity, if you want to talk about obesity with black women, the disparity in health outcomes for black women, then do that. White lives matter don't come together. None of that comes together.
And that's a broader conversation that goes further back beyond just current day health. You know, so
Nothing to do with
fishing.
Right.
Trying to deter the
It's just-
conversation from
exactly.
to somebody
see,
else.
you said something's wrong with him. At this point, I don't think anything's wrong with him. I think he's doing exactly what he wants to do. He's saying exactly what he wants to say, and he's targeting the audience exactly who he wants to target. I don't think he's trying to irritate people per se, because in that Fox interview, he's still riding with his boy Nine.
Yeah.
But it is to me.
He doubled down on that Drink Champs interview.
That too.
When Nori asked him about the Make America Great Again hat, he said it. Remember, I told y'all the last time we talked about it, I said, he doubled down on it. He said, hey, I'm still down with that.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with him because of that. I'm just saying Kanye did not get the help that he needed when his mom passed away.
She better go get a red hat right now.
No, I am not. I'm just saying he did not get the help he needed. Something is real. I mean, I don't know. Like that's like something triggered when people's just behavior, like, you know, unless there's some like misdiagnosed mental, you know, situation we're going with. Like after his mom died, he just really like started going down further and further and further. Like he's not talking to the right people. He's not surrounded by the right people. He didn't get the right help. So that's why I'm saying something's wrong with him. Do I think that he's actively choosing to say this stuff, to wear those shirts? Of course, yeah. I don't think he's like mentally out of his mind. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm just saying that he needs help.
I think that's injustice to people who are actually going through grief. I don't think. I think
you're saying he can't go through grief because he has money?
I think grief can put you into dark places.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it causes you to act out in the way that he is.
It doesn't turn you into a racist or
Yeah,
to
or
a
sellout.
racist supporter.
Right.
So, whatever it is he's doing. I don't know what it is he's doing, but grief don't turn you
It,
into
it,
anything that you're not.
it can trigger depression and all the type of mental health
And he
can
seems
stem
like he's doing that.
from that. But this seems much more calculated.
Yep.
And I think he's an intelligent man.
Yes.
He doesn't articulate his thoughts well at all times. He's an artist. He's a creator, right? So sometimes it just comes out mumbo jumbo, right? But he knows what he's doing,
Right.
and he's alienating the base that got him to where he was at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the people that he's trying to get close to, those are the same people that was ready to
Wow.
throw him under the
Threw him
bus
under the bus.
when he said George Bush don't care about black people.
Yeah.
So he's just switched it up all the way,
Mm-hmm.
maybe because he's got his money. Because they say, well, he's a billionaire now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You hit on a point. You said it for a long time. He's just trying to please white daddy. And I was like, I don't know if he really has it. But when you listen to that Tucker Carlson, and he's talking about Ivanka and Jared and Jared's brother, the Kushners or whatever, he's talking about they were born with a silver spoon and all this stuff. He's like, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. Sound like Clarence Thomas, and I made something out of nothing. Basically, he's seeking their approval. He wants to be in those circles, and he wants them to recognize him as a creator, or as somebody that can create something from nothing. Because I guess he feels like those people did. In reality, everybody, those people that he wants to be like, probably 90% of them got $1 million small loans from their family.
Right. Yeah, he's accomplished so
Yeah.
much more than
Peace.
them.
Yeah.
Stole from black people to
You
get
know,
there.
so-
Slum landlords,
Yeah.
tell them what they stole.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to
So-
Brett Favre. And
Yeah.
so they should be looking up to him.
Right. Exactly.
Great point,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Yeah,
it. It
great
should be the
point.
other way around.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So he should be turning his nose up at them.
Exactly. And not
Riding with the
being
people that
pissed
got
off.
him to this position, us.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line he got delusional, and I don't know that his mental illness comes with delusion, especially not at the level that he's exhibiting it. Because at the end of the day, even what he's doing to Kim is crazy. Talking about how they're managing their kids, and my daughter ain't going to be, naked all on the internet. Like, you chose that woman to be your children's mother.
Absolutely.
And now you on the internet talking about what your kid's not going to be. You forfeited that choice.
That one's
She had that sex tape when you married her, and then knocked her over
Right.
4 times. You
Right.
didn't pause at 1 and say this might be a mistake. You kept
Right.
going.
That too.
Right. You went for 4.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, I just want my family back, and she don't want you back, and now all of a sudden you don't want your daughter to be like her, so she can't be on social media. You
And then
don't
that's
want
what
to
I
do that.
don't like is when he tries to pull the black card. Then all of a sudden, black card.
Yeah.
is
Something like
black
this.
card is
Right.
Well, see, I've been told y'all that, and I can't remember who said it. Several people have said it before, but he does all this anti-black stuff, right? Marries the Kardashian, wears the Trump hat, right? Wears the White Lives Matter shirt, but as soon as something doesn't go his way,
Yeah.
then it is, they're discriminating against me.
Mhm.
Adidas won't allow me to do what I want to do. Gap won't allow me to do what I got to do. And then he wants to try to call a civil rights rally. Nah, man, it don't work that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But see, that's one thing I don't do. I don't do fence setters.
Mhm.
Either you down with me or you not. And I think it's a damn shame that who else? How many black billionaires we got? We got Oprah, Michael Jordan.
Oh, he wasn't.
Bron's a billionaire.
He wasn't going to name Jay-Z.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah,
Jay, Bron, and then I don't know. This on the song. He said, Jay said, how many millionaires came from the rock? He mentioned
Rihanna.
Rihanna. He mentioned Rihanna. Yes.
So we'll just stick to the rap world, right?
Yeah.
We'll stick to rap hip hop. You got Jay-Z, and I give you a hard time on Jay-Z, but I give Jay-Z his props. Jay-Z's down for the community.
Today.
No, I've always said that though, right?
Hey, get a close up on him. Saying
Jay-Z is
Because it's always y'all boy.
I mean,
This
I
day
mean,
in Black History.
I mean, but you know,
Marvin
everything
Gaye.
turns around when he squashed it with Nas. Nas had his foot on his neck.
Yeah.
He's at that flavor to your function. D's daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Flavor to your function. D's daiquiri. Good people, good wanna kick back, wanna just vibe, where to kick back. Let me first slide to the drink store. Let me just buy Diddy drink mixes, all of them fire. Fill me up a case, I'm finna drop bread. Marvelous mango, classic and red. Took them to the party, these folks won't leave me alone. They wanting me to share, they better get their own. Diddy's at that.
But anyway, so Jay, Riri, and Kanye. The only ones, Kanye's not, what's Kanye really doing for the black community? And I'm not saying that you have to be holding to like, okay, I'm committed to do this. Like, you don't have to be like Jay. Because Jay is like funding stuff that we don't even know about.
Right.
Beyonce, they're doing stuff that we don't even know about, right? And I'm not saying that because your money is your money. But don't hurt us though.
You know what's crazy though? And people, because it was with Trump, but Kim actually did more as far as trying to get prison reform and bail, that kind of stuff than Kanye did.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's crazy when he, you think about, like you say, he tried to pull that black card, and a couple weeks ago, Diddy was riding with him. I'm not buying any more Adidas until they do right by my man.
Did y'all see how he did Diddy?
Yep.
He did Diddy dirty because so when Kanye came up with the whole Adidas is doing me wrong, right? Diddy was on his social media saying, man, we need to stand by Kanye. We need to leave Adidas alone, right? So then Diddy went on the Breakfast Club and he said, we don't need to cancel Kanye because of the White Lives Matter shirt. But I guess Diddy underestimated that black people was feeling. It's like, nah, bro, we ain't feeling that. So Diddy made a separate video saying, nah, we do not rock with White Lives Matter. Don't buy that shirt. So Diddy said, nah, I'm not gonna get on that boat with you, Kanye.
Right.
So when he did that, Kanye went at him. So they were trying to text message each other. Remember how he was doing Kim?
Yeah.
He was posting all that. He was posting every single text.
He did it with
message.
Drake. The Drake
Yeah, he did it with Drake
combos and stuff too,
Gemini.
I'm surprised anybody jumped on him.
But you see what Puffy did. I don't know if Puffy meant like his goons or New York just came, or Diddy.
No, he didn't give no more. He's love. He's love. He's love.
But you see what he said?
Better leave love
He
alone.
said, "I'm getting off the plane. Send the address." Like,
Yeah.
you tired of all this
Right,
back and
right,
forth?
yeah, right.
Where you at?
But then he switched it up too. He switched it up because Kanye posted it. He said, I'm not gonna do nothing to you. I just want to talk to you.
Well, of course.
That's like one of the things your mom used to say, like, I ain't gonna whip you.
Oh,
I ain't gonna whip you. As soon as you get there, that's the first time I got lied to by a woman.
Come here for a second.
Yeah.
And
Stop
I
running.
because of the White Lives Matter shirt and stuff, other people been coming out the woodwork. Like, I saw I can't think of who dude was, but he was talking about how he treated Virgil. And how after Virgil died, he tried to co-opt that and be like Virgil, but
He
in
said,
reality,
"Keep his name out your mouth."
yeah, exactly. Because he was dogging Virgil because he thought basically Virgil didn't give him enough props for where he had gotten. He thought Virgil
He's
owed
a
his
very
whole
insecure
thing to Kanye,
individual.
He is.
So
He's extremely
He
insecure.
is. He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, he's extremely insecure. So, I mean, I don't know. You think he'll bounce back from this?
No.
Yeah.
You think so?
Man, you have like eternal hope.
no,
No.
she just knows people.
Yeah, I was
That's
just
just how
saying.
it is. I heard stepping in the name of love.
Yeah, people are just
I
exactly.
don't
People
know.
are so forgiving.
I don't know.
People are so forgiving of silly stuff.
Wait, but where were you though?
I'm just saying.
I don't care nothing about our
He was
kids.
at the end.
It was like, I did
I'm
two
just saying,
steps. I don't care
He
about our
was
kids.
at the
It
end.
was
Brother
on
get chicken.
It was on Sirius. And here they're gonna do the
Oh,
rewind. They had to play. I mean, because it was in the top 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had to play. I'm just saying.
I'm talking about at the cookout.
I don't know though. I don't know. I'll say this. Boosie spoke out about it. Boosie said,
Hold on. When Boosie's giving you sage advice,
Boosie said, dye your face.
dye your face then.
Dye your face.
Dye your face then.
And then what happened, and I don't know if it was Boosie's cats or just the cats that was inspired by Boosie, but they was burning the
That was his
Yeezys.
son.
That was Boosie's son.
They said North got 24 hours to respond.
Hey, she like, I'm on the TV. I got shows to film
Right.
for Hulu.
But
Meanwhile,
Boosie's son,
Yeah.
and he was burning the Yeezys.
Oh,
And it was like, you already paid for them.
That's what I don't like. Same way when like an athlete leaves the city and everyone's like, oh man, I'm burning. You pay for that. You
Yeah.
don't care.
You already
He's
paid
going to
for
get
it.
another
You
check.
already paid for
Right.
Yeah.
I think at this point, especially knowing who Boosie is, knowing his persona that is out there in the world, I can fully see his son
His son
making
doing that.
a viral showing of his "Don't Talk About My Daddy." That made perfect sense to me, and you know that kind of adds to that whole "I don't care about this money," type of. So it made sense for who he is and what he's trying to achieve, and I thought it was funny.
but speaking with, I saw somewhere Adidas is trying to reevaluate their partnership with him. They trying to get, because obviously he came out against him talking stuff about him, but at this point they trying to look for out in the relationship too, because that's a whole different topic. But I think somehow they got over on him in the negotiation for it, so he thinks he owns Yeezy, but he's gonna see. Watch, they gonna get rid of it, and all they're gonna do is slap a little Adidas somewhere on there, so it's gonna be the exact same shoe.
But they already did a soft launch.
Yeah.
Of some shoes that look a little bit like them little ugly shoes, especially the little
The foam thing,
foam
whatever.
loafers,
Yeah.
whatever.
Foam runners.
It's awful, man.
You're gonna see what happens when White Daddy turn on you.
But see, that's it right there. I don't know if they own the name or if he owns the name or what.
I don't know if he owns the name
It's the
because
design.
he had a Yeezy shoe with Nike too, though.
Okay, so he probably owns the name. He probably has that trademark.
Whatever happened, wasn't he supposed to pay? Was it Beanie Siegel?
He's supposed to pay Beanie because Beanie gave the name.
Yeah. Did he ever pay him anything?
Beanie ain't said nothing, so I'm assuming he probably got
That's
paid.
it.
No news is good news.
Oh, that's it.
Beans would have said
And
something.
Beanie would have said something.
Beanie would have said something.
Yeah, he
like
like
to
to say
speak out.
beans in his feelings, so
Yeah.
he definitely would have said
But
something.
she had to drop a J lyric.
I was just
She
saying
had to
that.
I was thinking of the same lyric. I mean, it's relevant. It plays. There's
But-
a J lyric for every.
But they try to say
episode.
Every occasion.
But they tried to say that the Yeezys represent like 60% of the online sales.
Yeah.
for Adidas, though.
I believe it.
Yeah.
The only reason I ain't gonna lie, the only reason I got the confirmed out the Adidas app is because of that. I never bought any, but at some point I was like, if I get a pair, I can flip them. Because these people are paying ridiculous amount of money for these 350s or whatever shoes that I would never wear.
Sure.
But that's the only reason I had that app on my phone.
The shoes kind of grew on me. The shoes, they did kind of grow on me. And I caught this cat. I was out with the fellas, and this dude had on some of those Yeezy shoes. And I said, hey, brother, you still gonna rock with Kanye? You still rocking the shoes, knowing where he stands at and his opinion about black people? You know what he told me? These are authentic replicas. He didn't get no money off of me.
Authentic.
That's kind of sad when you were like 50, you said you wear some fake Yeezys.
Right.
I mean,
They're not
You
fake.
couldn't tell. You thought they were.
They're not fake. They're replicas.
Right.
you know what? I just heard about that. My daughter was like,
Yeah, this site keep getting shut down because they sell
Yeah.
replicas. I was like,
I
replicas?
follow quite a few
I
of
said,
them.
ma'am, you mean
I know
fake
a lot of
knockoff?"
Jordan and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, they do Jordan, Yeezy, they got Louis, whatever shoes. And
Yeah, like that's new.
sidebar, some of them honestly be better quality.
I mean, the same people are probably making them over
Sidebar,
there.
they're probably made in the same factory.
No,
That's what I said.
They're
It's
probably
the
made-
same
How do they get the
people.
patterns? How do they get the materials?
They weren't there.
It's the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Same
That's what I'm
factory.
saying.
They were-
Yeah.
They making 100 shoes a day and putting 10 of them over here to the side.
That's it.
sell the side.
That's it.
So,
That's it.
I will say I bought reps one time. I bought some
Jordans?
Yeah, I bought some reps.
I ain't trying to say that. They trying to get cool with it. Right.
Reps.
You gotta-
Knockoffs in the 90s.
Gotta get
In
cool with
the
it.
90s, they were
I like
knockoffs
reps.
of fake.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Now they reps.
I'm not paying $800 for no.
Oh,
for
no.
J's, man.
That's crazy.
You go to the rep, pay $160.
Right.
Damn,
I'm not paying 160 for the
No,
Oh,
what's
God, I'm like, the face gotta be 40, 50.
Nah, they
No.
not.
You can't get them at the swap meet?
You
can't
can,
swap
but I'm
meet.
telling you, there's some reputable.
Instead of saying Nike, they have 2 E's.
So you can't tell the difference.
It's a reputable website, and that's why
Well, like
people don't
Mark
trust
said, the same people's making
StockX.
them.
I think we discussed this because you could pass reps through StockX, and they'll get authenticated, but they're not
authentic.
sold by Nike. They weren't
Like you
made,
said, same
come out of Nike. So
Yeah.
They testing the quality of the shoe, not the name
Exactly.
written on it.
You know what? Sometimes I think Kanye might be on a narcotic though.
Which
y'all
one?
think? I don't
I
know.
think he's probably on a lot.
But he that's like when you start talking esoteric and I don't want to besmirch his name because allegedly this is an opinion. The way he acts, he talks about mental health. Maybe something else is going on too, man. Because this is just really hard to explain. Knowing where he came from,
yeah.
from college dropout to
George Bush
graduating.
doesn't care
George
about
Bush
black
doesn't care
people.
about black people.
Yeah.
To go to the whole total extreme polar opposite from where you started.
No, I gotta push back on that. For one, being the alcoholic that can't always remember what I did the night before. I don't wake up and double down on the dumb things that I did before. And then two, because of my job, I'm with drug addicts all the time. Like, no, they do crazy stuff, but you don't plan a whole fashion show. And like wake up sober and then be like, yeah, white lives matter. And then get high again and be like, yeah, white lives matter. Like it's not they ride a wave, but there are moments of clarity. And in those moments of clarity, you can't just wake up and say, this fashion show is going exactly how I think it should go. This outfit and these t-shirts are planned. At some point in the months planning of a fashion show, he had to have a sober moment and say, hey, this is crazy. I'm really attacking Black Lives Matter unprovoked for no reason because Black Lives Matter isn't even in the news anymore, really. So I'm just basically drawing on an organization that's been pretty much undermined completely and out of the news, and then coming in with this, how do I want to say, sensationalized attack, basically perpetuating, how much I love white people. Because they matter too.
I don't know if he's had like a real sober moment though, or maybe they gave him so much medication that there's no coming back. You know what I mean? Because he's like he's been out of his mind consistently for like several years now.
Yeah, that at some point, that's just who you are.
Since he married, so maybe married. I have a cousin that swears up and down. His uncle, which is my dad's cousin, was just fine until he married his last wife, and now he's a little bit off. And my cousin swears up and down that she did something to him.
It's that unseasoned chicken.
No, she put season in her chicken. She looked like us. Yeah. That could be it though, or maybe they did something to him. Maybe they, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like
No, they
he's.
got Lamar.
I'm
Yeah.
out of
They got
excuses.
Lamar.
Yeah.
What, they were sprinkling crack in his
They
dinner?
got Lamar. I'm just saying.
Something happened. Yeah, they could have did something to him.
Did you see where they were talking about my boo, Yasin Bey? He put out a shirt where he blacked out the V, and then he was saying white lives matter.
Oh.
White lives matter.
Oh,
So
lies.
live. It's like out the feet. It's like grayed out.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see it.
White lives
Yeah, I like
matter.
that.
I saw Amanda Seals talking about it, and I was just like, who talking about Rose Dinner?
Yeah, I didn't see
I
it.
was like, wait a minute. Don't come for him. You know he for the people.
Are costly cable bills giving you the blues? Well, Magic Streams is your answer. Watch all of your favorite teams live in HD. You will also get access to over 1,500 movies and be able to watch TV shows instantly. Magic Streams. Click the link in our bio to get more information.
So, speaking of narcotic, your boy Joe Biden said.
My boy.
He
You can't say that because you said my boy earlier with Jay-Z, so everybody's be like, dang, now
You
say
got
this,
two
say
boys. These are your two boys.
No,
These are your two boys.
I don't mess with Joe. I don't mess with Joe.
So Joe came out with he is pardoning everybody who was charged federally for possession of marijuana.
Yeah, simple possession.
Simple possession. Now I don't know. We're gonna defer to Rika to give us how we distinguish simple possession versus whatever is above that.
I guess,
But so everybody, so how I read it was the users get pardoned, but if you were selling,
Right.
you don't get pardoned.
Exactly.
Which I
Distribution.
have an issue with that, but we'll get back to that. He also put out that he recommends that all state governors do the same for everybody who was convicted on the state level. And then he also wanted to adjust how marijuana is classified. Because I guess right now it's scheduled on the same level as heroin
And cocaine.
but over fentanyl. And we know that right now fentanyl is crazy, killing folks, right?
That's what they talk about.
Yeah, it's a major piece. And it goes back to Crimeville Joe, right? Because when I first saw about this, I put it out there, Steve gave me some data. I said, this the least he can do from that crime bill that he put together.
That's what I was coming to
Because you
say.
know how is marijuana put on the same level as heroin and cocaine? Because you know, most of us are using it, or most of us are getting policed and arrested for it. I should say that.
That's
They use
what
it. They use it just as much as us, right?
That's
But
for
we're
sure.
getting policed more heavily,
Absolutely.
right? And put in jail for it. So, Arika, tell us that from a legal aspect, from an attorney. When you saw this, what did you think?
I mean, same as everybody else. I feel like this is the least you could do. But the issue is, I'll circle back to, so you're not wrong about basically the possessors are getting pardoned and the distributors or the intent to distribute, those people aren't getting pardoned. And yes, I agree that they should be pardoned as well, but then that's a slippery slope, right? So whenever you're dealing in politics, if you want something to get passed, you gotta start with baby steps and kind of like step your way up, because what you don't want to do is open the door to any other people with distribution charges getting evaluated for release or whatever. So if you put that out there, then that's going to be the pushback, is that, you know, these people who are drug dealers who are introducing this to our community are these bad people, and that's going to stretch beyond marijuana and go into the whole still opioid crisis, and that's going to deter and distract from what we're trying to actually accomplish, which is removing marijuana from the same stigma that these other drugs have. Now, of course, fentanyl is a low scheduled drug because that's their drug. Now, I'm surprised cocaine ain't down there with it, because that's their baby too. So, but if we can get marijuana, it shouldn't be illegal at all. Really, I have a radical view. I feel like all drugs should be legal. If you want to kill yourself, you be my guest. They let you do it with tobacco. They let you do it with alcohol.
Right.
They should let you do it with anything else. All we're doing is policing how people choose to live their lives, and that's a waste. Now, when you get on drugs and you go steal something or break in somewhere, then of course, if your drug use is impacting everybody else, then by all means. But if you're just riding from your dealer to your house to go get high, that's your business. But
I think it's bigger than that though, and all of us know that firsthand. Well, maybe not Steve, because she was Republican. But all of us know that.
Red overdraft.
Yeah, right. I have absolutely nothing to do. I'm pretty sure you know what? Never mind.
So, but we know that crack does have other issues that it creates, right? In terms
Right.
of the family, how it destroys the house, the family household, how the crime that comes with the right. I really have never seen any adjacent crimes associated to marijuana.
No.
Very few.
Nope.
Very few.
I agree.
Outside of somebody getting a hairbrand scream and trying to rob the weed man. Other than that,
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
At that point, it's two criminals going after
And
the
that's
weed.
what
To play devil's advocate on that could also factor into how it's policed as well, though. So I don't think it's just crack and boom, everything else happens just simply because of crack. It's because of the way it is policed, the way it is handled in certain communities, and so those communities are already areas where they're underserved with everything except for police. So you put crack there and you just leave it there, you just let it fester. If it's legal,
Shout out
Then-
to Reagan.
if it's legal, then there's other services that can be there, that will be there, that will pop up other opportunities for people to. It'll be a different, what do you call it? Industry, a new industry that will pop up.
Well, they somewhat have that. I think out in
That could be legal.
Out in
that's what I'm saying.
California, when they have the methadone,
Mhm.
the methadone clinics,
Yeah.
where people who are on heroin, they can go and it helps
Get
them
treatment every day.
wean off the drug, and basically it's just replacing one high with another, right? But
Right.
I know that withdrawal from heroin is terrible.
Yeah.
So the methadone is something that is necessary medically to get them off
yeah,
of that.
because the body is addicted to it at that point. It needs
Yeah,
it.
so it needs it, but I just feel as if this is overdue. It's too bad that our first black president didn't do something like this. Shout out to Barry.
I know Clinton didn't do that.
Clinton played the sax and everybody thought he was black, right?
I know he went to a black church, and then locked up
He
one
was the
black
one that
people
signed
and
that contract.
right.
Him and Joe was down, they
Him
was
and
down
Joe.
together. His
Right.
wife was calling them super predators.
Exactly.
But see,
So,
listen,
yeah.
I saw where, and I hate to criticize it, but it's only 6,500 people in the United States is going to benefit from that. I mean, I had to say only because that's 6,500 people because
Yeah, I know what
they
you
were
mean.
saying federally it's hard to get a possession charge
Possession,
and
right.
be in federal prison for possession.
For
Most
marijuana.
for marijuana. So most of that stuff is on the state level. I think the majority of people that are going to benefit are in D.C. because that's all federal. There's no state. Everything is federal jurisdiction here.
But I'm hoping that, like you said, this is a baby step. Just like when he said, okay, we're going to forgive the student loans for the people that went to Little Romeo School. It'll gradually go to something that's bigger than just those few people, right? So I don't know if that's possible because of the points that Rika brought up. Hopefully it trickles down to the state level. That some of those governors take advantage of it, but considering the way America is set up and most of these governors' mansions are Republican, shout out to C. I don't see it happening. Now, the way that me personally, I feel that anybody that's in for distribution, they should be out, they should be let go. They should be pardoned, because guess what? We got Colorado, Illinois, New York, who else has legalized? Oklahoma.
It's on the ballot in Missouri.
Part of Missouri.
It's on the ballot in Missouri. If you got people who are making money on distribution, nobody should be locked up for it.
Yeah.
Nobody should be locked up for it.
And it's gonna.
Well, again, that's
That gets into dangerous territory.
that goes to
How so?
the federal though, because I think sometimes a lot of the federal charges, but it's still illegal in a lot of these states. So I wonder, could states then double back and say, well, you had a Fed charge, we're not going to prosecute you because the Feds is doing it, but we can come back as the state of Iowa and say, well, you already were proven guilty on the federal charge, so you have to be guilty on the state charge.
So, no,
They can't do that? Okay.
because you have a window of
That should
time.
be positive.
Right. And you have a window of time where you have to pursue charges.
Okay.
So depending on when the offense occurred, and then once they give up jurisdiction, I'm not sure they would have any grounds to then go back and try to retain
Okay.
jurisdiction. So that would get into a sticky situation. But the thing about it is, like, the thing about Joe is he runs the feds. He can't make the states do anything.
Right.
And so with states barely approving medical marijuana or approving, marijuana period, the chances of them going in and pardoning criminals who they know look like us, slim to none. Especially in a place like Missouri, slim to none. They don't have any motivation to do so. Now, if the feds came through and started offering some type of, so this is how the feds control the states. They offer federal funding in return for doing something. So if they start passing out money to the states in a reform bill or something like that, then that might happen. But until then, if they don't have any incentive, there's no reason for them to do it.
They probably wouldn't anyway though, because even when you were naming all those states where a lot of it's medical, like you have to have a card to do it. If you're gonna sell it, it can only be a certain amount. So you still have to follow all the rules. You have to pay for taxes. If you're gonna be a distributor, even though it's legal, you gotta pay like the $5,000 to get the license and another like $10,000 depending on your facility. So just somebody riding down the street with a sack is still gonna get arrested and get sent to prison. So that's why I don't think
And because it's legal, it's legal on the state level, it's not on the federal level.
Exactly.
So
I mean-
any of those people who are making buku bucks
Exactly.
selling marijuana legally in the state, they can't put the money in the bank.
No.
Because the banks are controlled by the FDIC,
Yeah.
and that money will get seized. So you got them investing in high
Crypto.
dollar security,
Right. Yep.
safes, everything. They're just holding cash. They can't put it somewhere where it can actually work for them, and they're making a boatload of cash.
they are.
Look at the state
They
of
really
Colorado,
are.
they talk about the tax revenue that they're making on
Yeah.
marijuana. It's,
School systems.
I'm conflicted because I think like the marijuana that's out these days and the marijuana that we grew up on, right?
They got
and they got some of that ooh wee, right?
Nowadays,
Yeah, they got that
designer.
And I think that think that it has not gonna say a negative effect, but it's impacting our young people, right? Because I know a lot of young people that use marijuana, and some of them can do it and function. I used to know functional weed heads. You know, cats that smoke in the morning, smoke when they got off work, smoke when they went to bed, and they can function and hold down the job. This younger generation, they ain't really built like that. And maybe it's not a fair comparison because the other weed that we had back in the day,
they had a lot of sticks in it.
Yeah, they had a lot of sticks and sticks. Stuff right here, get your stuff. So, you know, and then from a business perspective, I know a lot of customers of mine, they were against it because it's legal, right? Insurance companies, they don't approve of it. So say you have a business where you have to have people driving vehicles. Say you're an Amazon carrier, right? And you got people that need to drive your fleet cars, right? It's legal, but then what if everybody's on weed because it's legal? Then that employment base that you have to pull from is less because they can't pass the test. So it has some wide-ranging impact, you know what I mean? So, but I definitely think that it's a good step. Part of me thinks it's a little bit of strategery, going back to C's boy George W. Bush, strategery, because remember when George Bush said that? He's like strategery.
He was always lost.
Right. Listen, part of me thinks that this is strategy because we're coming up on November, right?
For sure.
So you mess with us, we're gonna legalize the weed, right? We're gonna try to codify the law. And what they're really gonna try to do is say, give us another chance. Give us the Senate, give us the House, we're gonna legalize that abortion. I think that's what they're gonna do. What can the Republicans say against that? Because most Republicans, they want to have abortions.
Right. If Herschel Walker win, he down for it.
That's how his son turned on him?
Yeah.
I think the weed thing too is also it's bigger for them because if you look at most of the medical marijuana places, we don't hardly own a fraction of those. That's all for them.
Yeah,
And that's another thing with the distribution. A lot of states are limiting, they get overwhelmed with applications. So they're like, we're only going to take 100 for the whole state.
Yep.
And so.
And the barriers to entry, was he talked about the dollar amount, you know.
And a lot
we're
of
not really getting the capital like that.
And you gotta grease the palms of certain people who are on those boards who make those decisions, not like a random pool. They literally have boards that are making these decisions, and because 9 times out of 10, nobody I know is on the board.
I put in my application for licensing, right? Just speaking generally.
Yeah.
I put in my application to be licensed to sell marijuana. It's just sitting on the desk.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sell that desk until I donated to this charity.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
I
bought this $10,000 plate for this event.
Yeah.
That's how it goes down.
I built this volleyball gym. And,
Shout out to Brett Favre, right? Shout out to Brett Favre, but yeah, man, I don't know. You think they're gonna pass it down on the state level? Think we're gonna see it?
On the state level, no. The feds, yes. I mean, because the feds are kind of behind the time right now what they're doing now is saying, hey, even if it's legal in your state, it's still not legal federally, and it's just creating unnecessary confusion. And like they said, the feds really don't have that many cases that they prosecute for marijuana anyway, because you gotta have a lot of marijuana to even show up on their radar. They don't care about marijuana. The feds been dealing with what's really going on in the world. They don't care about minutia. And so for them to pass it legally federally is nothing, but for them to influence what the states do, that's going to take more finessing. And I don't think that I don't think they really have any intention of doing that. I think that's, like you said, something they're selling because it's the election time.
Joe gotta go.
I don't know what y'all saw. He didn't say he was running again.
Because he's dead and they're holding him up with little puppeteer fingers.
He said we can burn it.
He said we'll see. Basically said we'll see.
Joe.
So
who gonna run though? You see Kamala suffering. She went over to Korea, had a big gap, and she got in an accident. You know what? I honestly don't know.
Why is she only in the news when something bad is happening to her? Why is she never doing any work?
She don't like Joe.
But she could still be in the office doing something, anything. I knew I wasn't team her in the beginning, but Joe gonna run where?
Texas.
He gonna run.
Beto got to win.
He's not gonna win. So
No.
that's why he's gonna be
Beto
available
got
to
to
run
win
for
Texas
president.
first. Yeah,
So,
he got to win Texas first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna happen, but
I don't know, but you know,
Gavin Newsom.
I was about to say California's governor's doing big things over
Yeah,
there.
he's
I'm
young.
impressed.
He's young.
I like
you know,
him.
he's got the look. So he
And
might.
he's doing like things you're not even thinking about, like sanitary napkins and stuff for the prisoners. That was one of the things that was news to me when I became an attorney, that you don't just automatically get like sanitary napkins and soap and tissue when you go to jail. You gotta work and earn that. And then you work a job that you could be making $10 an hour outside. They pay you 10 cents a day. I had some people I taught at the jail like 2 weeks ago. They were like, yeah, I got out of Kentucky. I worked every single day I was there, and I got out owing them money for my commissary. I was like, that's insane. Like, they're giving you bare minimum toiletries and then
Free
charging
labor,
you.
that goes back. We talked about the crime bill. I talked about this book all the time. The new Jim Crow. It talks about that.
Yeah.
Everything that we talked about. The crime bill, right? The old policing in our neighborhoods for marijuana, for offenses like that. When they had drugs like meth, fentanyl, that was actually killing people. Right? That weren't being pursued, but they were going after our neighborhood, our boys, our women,
Opioid crisis.
our women, right? And then now you have all these people that are locked up, and you said they come out of jail owing money.
And see, and that's the other thing now, that when I was talking about legalizing drugs, is partially because of that, because these people come out owing money. These people go in, like you say, you knew fully functional weed addicts. They're fully functional drug addicts, but they get caught with some small amount, and then they go to jail and they lose everything. Well, they ain't gonna come out and just go find another job in an apartment and stuff. Now they're just full-fledged out in the streets, roaming around homeless. Now the level of crime that they're willing to commit is here, whereas opposed to before, when they had a home and a family and a job, they was riding around from their dealer to their house. And so to me, it increases their crime statistics by making them reset all the time. And most of my clients have been in treatment a time or 3. They've been to jail a time or 3, and they each time they're like I have a client right now. He's got like 6 open cases. He's like, I can't go back to jail.
You got 6 open cases, buddy.
Okay. He's like, I've done treatment 4 times. It don't work. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, treatment's a joke. He's like, this place, I've had multiple clients say that this major treatment place that people go to in St. Louis has like drugs in the facility. Like they're it's easy to get drugs in the facility.
So nobody's being rehabilitated.
No, none. And so everybody I've had said that place is a joke, and they're like, I've been there a few times, that's a joke, and then I don't want to do this, I want to do that. Right now, I have a job, I have an apartment, I'm more set up than I've ever been in life. If I have to start all over, this is going to mess up my life. And he's like, I've completely turned my life around now. And I'm like, and that's great. But unfortunately, you about to go back to jail.
But I used to know growing up, 'cause, you know, when crack hit the 80s, that was our time, right? We was, coming up.
Freeway Ronnie?
Freeway Ronnie, right? Shout out to Ronald Reagan. But I knew dudes whose moms was on crack, but they still, for the most part, did what a mom was supposed to do. They cooked breakfast or whatever, but just at night, she was out on that end. Right? You may come home and the TV be gone because she didn't saw it. Worse.
I heard we all like,
But that's true though.
I mean, that was part of the story.
Listen.
But then another TV might come when she earned it back.
Hey, but like that really did happen at one time. I mean, I was dating this girl and we were on our way back. I was on my way back to drop her off, and her little sister came out the house crying and was just like, Daddy sold the TV. Daddy sold the TV. Her dad had a nice little souped up car or whatever, next thing you know, we saw one of the dope boys driving down the street in her ride. And she was like, what he doing in my car? I ain't had it hard to tell her. She knew, you know what I mean? But that just speaks to how the drugs really devastated our community, because it just really just attacked the families. It really did,
But again, that goes back to, as opposed to jail, that investment could go into treatment and resources for the community. Like, what is available for those children who are going through that, what kind of treatment programs was available for us. None for us, but now they want to put these opioid crisis kids through all the treatment programs in the world. They got 30-day shot, 120, 1 year, do this, let's try again. Oh, he made a mistake. No, he's a drug addict.
Power through that, my G. We didn't get power through that.
Right.
Power through that.
I bet you're sober up in jail.
Right.
Just like we had to do. Or don't.
Right. So, I don't know. I think, y'all, I hate to speak in absolutes, but hopefully this is the last show we're going to do about Kanye. What y'all think?
Nope.
I think we'll have a redemption show.
She said we're going to do a redemption show.
Yeah.
He's going to redeem himself.
Yeah.
He's going to redeem himself. What can he do to redeem himself?
I mean, at this point, nothing. I can't think of nothing today.
He'll sponsor 12 playgrounds in Chicago.
Maybe.
Right.
He
He
might do
gonna
something.
get Larry Hoover out of jail.
I had to get that would be Kim.
After him and Kim get back together.
Yeah, that would be Kim. If that happened, that would be Kim.
He gonna start a community center in Chicago and be like,
Right.
I do care about y'all.
But here's the thing, though.
He gonna drop. Honestly, what he gonna do? He gonna drop a dope album.
Drop out. Well, that last one wasn't dope, but the last one was horrible. Oh,
I don't think that's good enough no more, though.
Okay.
You gotta-
Not for you.
No, not
But
for
we're
yeah,
we're
but I
talking
get
about.
what
We're
you're
talking
saying.
about.
In order for
I didn't have a
people,
problem with Kanye's music.
No. But that's how he's gonna ingratiate
But
himself.
I mean,
back.
people are gonna be like, oh, back to being like, Team Ye.
Yeah.
Like, they'll
But
drop
there's
the fire.
some lines you can't cross. And I think that white lives matter when it comes to the hood, right? When it comes to these young people, young brothers and sisters, I think that's a line too far for them.
They have zero morals. They rap and
Nah,
listen to
nah,
about
you
killing
can't-
each other
but you
every
can't
day.
say that though. You know why? Here's my example. The Baby was coming out talking about how he was getting blackballed by the record industry, right? Because he put out an album and nobody downloaded it. He wasn't on the playlist, whatever. But brother, did you forget how he went after the LGBT people?
Who do you think has more power than us?
The Baby or Lil Baby.
The baby.
The Baby.
Okay.
Then he did that, right? And black people were still kind of rocking with him, right?
Yeah.
And then he put out, I slept with Megan Thee Stallion. And the sisters, all the sisters.
That was on the same
They
album.
was like, damn, dude, like, that's fact, you know? And when he finally put the album out, it didn't come out. So I think it's possible.
His is the LGBT community.
And you can't, honestly, you can't. Kanye, 20 years in, has a different type of standing than the Baby.
Yeah, he had what, like maybe 5 hits, and there was 3 were features.
So
Yeah, that is.
it's
What I'm
a
saying,
different
what I'm
standing.
saying though is, there is a point where you can go too far.
There is.
There's a third rail that you can touch.
There is.
And I think that he's touched it with this White Lives Matter.
I don't know.
Because most of the time, if you look on social media, you look on Instagram, and you'll see a bunch of people making excuses like C does.
Oh, cut it out.
No, it's not for real. You'll see like, well, that boy ain't been right since his mama died, or mental health is real, y'all. What I'm seeing now is like, nah, F that dude. I'm seeing a whole lot of that. I think he tore his drawers. I really do.
Yeah, but you gotta think that it's not even that. I don't agree that the young people today don't have morals. I think that their memory is so short. Like, you remember when the Dominican Republic was kicking out all the black people and all the Haitians and stuff like that, and wasn't nobody supposed to be going to the Dominican Republic, and then 6 months later, everybody in the DR because they lowered their prices. I was like,
Because it's cheap to get
That was
there.
more people our age though.
Wait,
And that's more of a lack of education on our age.
but at the same time, I'm
They
saying,
don't
but
care.
that's the same thing. Like,
Right.
Cause these young people that can't afford to go to Dominican, they going to Cancun.
I know they got the
Dominican now, now once we stopped going, they started
It's probably
lowering
cheaper than
prices.
Cancun,
Yeah,
right
they
now.
started, and then everybody started going.
I think he's done. I hope he's done. Because, like I said, you can't continue to do all these anti-black things, right? And then expect for us to continue to just say, oh, that's okay. I keep telling y'all,
And-
sellouts are dangerous.
And there
You
has to
can't
be a
have them
point.
around.
There has to be a point where even if you do something redemptive, I still know in the back of my head that could happen again. You know, you can go back to
He's done it.
doing that dude.
How many times has he done that though? He was like, oh yeah, these white folks are doing this to me, this, that, and the other. I'm gonna go and drink chance. Everybody's like, well, he ain't that bad, you know.
Right.
And he comes back with this.
It'll happen again.
Yeah.
It will.
Fool me once, Shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled
Can't
again.
get It's always saying to the sea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it might be in Tennessee.
It's like, one of the T states.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, I think we talked about it enough. No, that's my signature outro statement. I think we talked about it enough. I love this, man. I love having this all in one spot, man. It's too bad, for those who don't know, we don't live in the same city, so we do this online and we put the show together every other week. We put out some consistent content. I'd like to do more of these, but the inflation is real. So we'll see how we're gonna do in 2023. We'll probably do some more in-person shows as much as we can. Unless Lab moves out the country. Lab might move to the Dominican. We might have to bring Lab.
Hey, it's cheap, bro.
We have to bring in Lab remote, but make sure you check out our website, www.manlistenshow.com. Make sure you go to our Instagram and our Facebook, @manlistenshow. Hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. Make sure you hit up our link on our Instagram, get our merch. C's got on the shirt. Hit our bio. You can buy Rika's book, Diabolical Tales of Woe. You can buy my book, Mythbusters, Lessons from Active Black Fathers. And just keep supporting the show. I think that's it, y'all.
You can buy both of my books.
Yeah, she had two books.
For the record.
Buy both of them. My bad.
Not all of them.
One of them would be great, right? What's the Halloween one?
Diabolical
Nah,
Tales of Woe.
Yeah. Fair enough. Scary stories around the fire.
Yes. That's perfect.
That's why I just said that.
You just be like, no.
That's why I just said diabolical.
It's all over for you.
One book with the poems and the motivational
Take your weed money and buy the book.
Not all the weed money, some of the weed money. The book might be better on the weed.
Yeah, you might need it.
Just some of the weed, but not all of it.
All right, with that being said, we gotta let y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.